Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist. If you are new to my channel, welcome to the family. I am honored to have you here. If you're returning, welcome back. I have missed you. This is the second round of rising sign messages, and we are now on to fixed signs. So if you're here, you are a Scorpio rising. Excuse me. So Scorpios, when the sun broke the horizon the day that you were born, and this is based off of the date, the time, and the location in which you were born. When the sun broke the horizon, it constituted your rising sign. As a Scorpio rising, you are the defenders of the zodiac. You are the transformers, the fighters, the survivors. I often find that Scorpio and Scorpios get a lot of flack out in the world because you will sting first and ask questions later. But the thing about that is you only sting when you are stung first or when there is a threat of something towards you or someone you love. And that's a defense mechanism that isn't always a good thing. It's not always a bad thing. But when it comes to Scorpionic energy, and especially with Scorpio rising, what I have found Scorpios don't get enough recognition for, that's the word, recognition for, is the depth and amount to which you will dive into yourself in order to allow for a transformation in your life. If something is not going right, you will find it, you will fix it. And it will always be an internal journey for you. It always has and it always will be. That's why Scorpionic energy is the energy of the Phoenix. You are the essence, the embodiment of the Phoenix. And that makes Libra season and Mabon and Ostara, depending on whether you're in the northern or southern hemispheres, so important. Especially for the collective and the collective who interacts with you, Scorpio. So when we think about Mabon for the northern hemisphere is the time in which Persephone went down into the underworld. And because of that, her mother Demeter or Ceres, depending on the mythology that you're reading, would withdraw her loving, her nurturing, and her fertile agricultural and grain essence from the world. And that was how ancient Greeks used to explain to the world why there was a harvest and why there was a winter, why things just didn't grow the same in winter. Now, if you think about the fact that in the northern hemisphere, we're going into Mabon, so that's what the mythology is that we're working with. In the southern hemisphere, it's the exact opposite. In the southern hemisphere, we're going through Ostara, and Ostara is the spring equinox. So that is when Persephone actually returns from the underworld. So while the Greeks were not aware of the magnitude of the earth in which we live and the northern and southern hemisphere shifting and how all of that worked, if you think about it in terms of the cycles, Persephone's cycle in the northern hemisphere has ended, and now it's time for her to spend her time in the southern hemisphere. And in that way, we can see that the underworld that people fear so often is nothing but the illusion of not knowing the other half. And Scorpios, you are the sign that will always find the other, no matter what it is. And this doesn't always necessarily translate to like twin flames or relationships. You'll find the other shoe. You'll find the other reason, the other experiment, the other way, the other path. And that is the essence of your Libra season, because on the back of the deck here, this is the energy that you're working with going into Mabon or Ostara and into Libra season, and it's doorways. And the card is number 11. And that is a master number, a master leader number, in fact. So you will always find the other way. You will always find another way forward. You will always find your way into the fires so that you can cleanse, so that you can purify, so you can become the phoenix one more time. You will always find that. And so Scorpios, during this Libra season, you're the one that's going to be opening the doors. You're the one that's going to be finding the doors. The doors that we believe are walls, the doors that we believe are closed forever, the doors that we believe we want to open, but we aren't able to. All of those false beliefs that we've built about pathways and possibilities. Scorpio, your energy during this Libra season, and one of the biggest reasons why you're so important to the collective, your energy is helping to bring forth the awareness that a door is always open somewhere. And all you have to do is believe that that door will be open. And then you just walk right through it. And you, Scorpio, are carrying that energy because that's the energy your soul broke the horizon with. So what we're going to do here, let me explain a little bit more now that we got the intro done. Each of these piles correlates to a different part of your life. The first one is based off of yourself and self-focused, self-care, self-love, and the journey of you. The second one is romance and love. The third one is career focused. And the fourth is spirituality focused. Now, normally I would be like, if you want to skip a pile, go ahead and skip a pile. However, these are based off of the energy of the moon cycles, the houses that they're going to be falling into, and how it's going to impact an area of your life based off of that. So these energies are still going to be moving through the collective, and it is in your, it's in your highest good to have the full picture. Sometimes we can want to skip things, and I'm saying that because I'm getting this strong energy of I really don't want to talk about romance, and I do understand that. But in a way, this is more about communication than anything, because this first pile is correlated to the new moon in Libra, and that's the 12th house in your chart. So that is focused on yourself. And for any of my astrologers out there, there is a reason why Spirit led me to do it this way, because I struggled with that as well. And it was, why isn't the 12th house spirituality and the 9th house the self, or the 3rd house the self? But Spirit said it will make sense in time. And when it comes to the 12th house, you can't get to the spirituality aspect until you get through yourself first. That is one of those doorways we all have to go through first and foremost. We have to go through ourself and our subconscious minds in order to reach the higher realms. That's just my belief. It's my experience. So we are working with the new moon in your 12th house in Libra, and that is self-focused. And then we're going to shift to October 2nd with the first quarter moon in Capricorn, and that is in your 3rd house, and that is romance and love focused. That means that we're going to be looking at communication, the ways in which you learn to communicate in a loving way based off of your childhood. Then we're going to shift to October 9th with the full moon in Aries. This is the 6th house for you. So we are going to be looking at your career. This is going to be more focused on work and making sure that the work and physical life and home life are balanced, especially with it being in your 6th house. And then we have October 17th with the 3rd house, or the 3rd quarter moon in Cancer. And this is falling in your 9th house of expansion, beliefs, philosophies. And here is where we're going to discuss your spirituality focused area of the month. So without further ado, I'm going to pause it, clear it, and then we're going to jump directly into the new moon in Libra. As we're moving through the moon phases, I am going to give you the essence of the energy of the collective energy of the moon, what the messages were that I channeled from each moon phase, and then how this is going to apply based off of your cards. So I will see you at the new moon in Libra. All right. Hello, Scorpios. We are back. So if this seems a little off kilter for you guys, because I'm going to be setting my tea down here and there and sipping on that I had a very, very long filming day yesterday. And so I'm trying to space out these filmings a little bit more. But I also want you to feel at home here. That's an energy that feels really strongly, especially with this new moon energy for you in particular, is this wanting to feel at home, wanting to feel welcome, wanting, and that may be wanting to feel welcome within yourself. And that may be something that you are finding is building, especially with this new moon being in Libra, falling in your 12th house. Whenever a new moon starts in the 12th house, one moment, guys. I've got a sneaky dog. Jade, go lay down, baby. Go lay down. Go. Thank you. Go lay down. Go get Willow. Go on. Sorry, guys. That's my daughter Eliza's dog, Jade, and I've got cacti on my floor, and so I don't want her to try to eat said cacti. That's fine. She's in the doorway, so I was just letting her know. That is something that you're going to experience a lot with my channel. I have the feeling is as I'm recording during the day, the pets are my responsibility. They're my babies, and so we're going to be seeing and hearing a lot from my dogs and probably my 2 cats. All of that actually plays directly in with this energy that I'm feeling with you guys about wanting to feel at home. And what we were saying was the new moon in Libra falling in your 12th house can make you feel very unbalanced. It can make you desire balance, desire harmony, but not in the outside world. It's almost as if the scorpion stinger is suddenly stinging itself because it's so afraid to face anything in the outside world that it would rather just sting itself. I want to say that scorpions do that for some reason. I don't know why I want to say that. I would have to look it up. But the biggest energy that I'm getting with you guys is that it's okay to understand that might be an initial reaction that you have. You might feel like that's something that you should do, but don't harm yourself because you can't feel at home within. There are ways to feel at home within, and this new moon is actually really, truly helping you find that inner balance, that inner harmony in order to really transform your life so that you do feel at home. So with this new moon, we have 4 planets aligned. We've got Mercury and Venus, both of them in Virgo, and Mercury is still retrograded in Virgo. And then we've got the sun and the moon in Libra. All of these planets are falling under the rulership of Mercury. So this is a very learning how to talk to yourself, learning how to communicate with yourself, learning how to communicate with your shadow, with your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind, the collective unconscious. But more than anything, this is communicating with yourself outside of the ways in which the stress and strain from your childhood was. The energies of this moon are so focused on self-transformation. No matter what area of life it falls in, for you, it's actually doubly potent because it does fall in the area in which the calling is for you to focus on yourself. So apply this in the area of your own mental health, your own depression, anxiety, your own shadow work. Really, really sit down with yourself during this moon phase and focus internally on finding a sense of balance, finding a sense of harmony, finding this willingness to transform. Because while the sun and the moon in Libra in your 12th house and Mercury and Venus in your 11th house are all blending together, that means your dreams, your wishes, your hopes, your goals, your communities, your friendships are blending together with the fears that you have about people coming after you or not being fair to you or being unjust. All of that is blending together with Pluto and Capricorn in your 3rd house in a harmonious trine in order to help you transform the way that you speak to yourself and the way that you believe in the ways that others will treat you and the ways that others will love you. No, I have a very good friend who is a Scorpio, and she is an amazing, amazing soul. She's a redhead. And Stina, if you're here, I love you. But she's a redhead. And so she has that fiery Scorpio energy, even though Scorpio is a water sign. And with that energy, she knows how to sting. But she's been stung so many times that she doesn't know how to walk away when she gets hurt at times. And as a Cancer, I definitely understand exactly what that's like because I'm the same way. It doesn't mean that you're meant to live in a state of fear, Scorpio. It means that you need to see the value that you have and understand that Spirit sees the value that you have as well, and then harness that value to move forward. This is about harnessing the balance of the truth of who you are. You don't have to be the divine justice bringer because the divine will bring the justice for you. Karma works that way. Karma is neither good or bad. It just is. So let's take a look. Before we move on to the cards, I did want to say there are 3 factors to this new moon. So if you want to write these 3 factors down, just because I know how Scorpios can be, and you guys do like to take notes from what I've experienced with Scorpios. You want to go with the first biggest feature is personal accountability. This is so huge for your 12th house. When you take personal accountability in your subconscious mind, in your own healing, you're telling the divine, I know, I trust, and I am willing to look at the things within me that have scared me for so long, and I am willing and ready and able to take a new step in that direction to heal. Once you do that, then you're also taking spiritual responsibility. So you are taking over the responsibility for your own spiritual healing, your own spiritual progress, and your own spiritual connection to the divine, the universe, the cosmos, to the planets, to the ethers, to the star seeds, to the ancestors, and to spirit. Finally, it comes down to the same thing that we hear all the time in the spiritual community that I used to hate and now I love. It comes to surrender. Take personal accountability, take spiritual responsibility, and then surrender. Surrender everything. When I was getting ready for your pile, the serenity prayer kept going through my head, and the song Fallen Leaves by Billy Talent. I'm not entirely sure why, but I will make a note here. Let me grab a pen. I will make a note here and link the song. This has been happening with a few piles. So Fallen Leaves by Billy Talent. But I also was hearing the serenity prayer, and it's God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Now, I know this because I've had to look it up, but also because my father was an alcoholic, and I am a recovering alcoholic, which I'm almost 2 years sober. We are going to do a celebration on the day that I hit my 2-year sobriety mark. But this is the energy of learning within this new moon in Libra that transformation doesn't have to be hard, that you can rebalance yourself, and that it's okay to have things in your life or around you that aren't going to change, as long as you understand and accept the parts of you that are ready to change so that real change can take place. You guys are getting like a really intense, really in-depth message, which to me tells me that you guys have really been seeking a lot of answers. So first of all, I want to say thank you a lot for being here, but thank you for your energy. Thank you for enduring. So we have the Wheel of Fortune and Fate. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to giggle, but it's kind of like, yeah, that makes total sense because we're working with the 12th house. And that means that as you really step into these 3 things, the personal accountability, the spiritual responsibility, and surrendering, you're turning the wheel of destiny in your favor. We've got prophets and ancient seers, decision, predictive guidance, and that's the card 18. We have the first quarter moon in Libra, keep your heart open. Wow. Wow. Yeah. We have the card 34, loss and lack, fear and victimization. Aha. I do believe. And then this is the El Kui Oracle deck, I believe is how you pronounce it. And it's the She Who Oracle deck. And I am going to give a nod to Baba Jolie's guided messages and the way that she reads these cards, because I'm actually going to utilize her style for reading these specific cards, because I would like to remove gender identity from them. So I'm going to be using the one who instead of she who. So we have Futura, the one who divines, future, choice, and judgment. All right. And then we're going to look at your cards here. We have the 4 of Lightning, or the 4 of Wands, the 9 and the Hermit, and then the 10 of Candles, or the 10. Oh, the 4 of Swords, the Hermit, and the 10 of Wands. Okay. So first of all, when we talk about taking responsibility for your own mental health, that's where this loss and lack and fear and victimization comes in, because you can feel this fear, this understanding that, you know what, at some point, the world was different. People were different. My life was different. Things were different. You can feel that. But the question is which doorway do you want to walk through? And I just saw 2211 on my clock, and I was thinking about this doorways card too. So that's double 11s. This is asking you to embrace a new beginning. We've got 4, 9, 10, and another 9, and then an 11. So with these numbers, what we're looking at with the 4 is, and especially the 4 of Lightning or the 4 of Swords, this is allowing yourself the time that you need to rest during this moon phase. And it's doubled up with the Hermit because you're carrying too much. You can't carry the load and blaze that torch for everyone else if you don't do it for you, because then you do fall into this fear and this victimization and the loss and lack mentality continually. Then you're perpetuating that same cycle. You want to open a new doorway. You have this understanding, this revelation within you that as long as you keep your heart open during this time and you really allow yourself to go within, it's time to drop the burdens of carrying everything for everyone else, because that was never your job to begin with. Right now is the time for you to open your heart up to a new destiny, a new path, a new doorway, a new future. And that doesn't mean that you have to change everything that you're doing in your life. And I am always going to be one that says that, because I've had so many pick a card readings or so many personal readings where the messages that have come through have been, it's time to start a new beginning. It's time to start a new path. And I didn't want to. This was my path. This right here is my path. And I knew it. And so I was very confused. So it's about asking yourself what that means in your life, in the context of your awareness, in the context of your own decision-making, your own predictive guidance, your own connection with the divine. You are a diviner, and sometimes that's hard to accept. And I understand that, because I too had a very hard time accepting that I was psychic. But as a psychic, we're not here to carry the flames for everybody else. We're here to remind everybody else of the flames that they have within themselves. When we get into this state in which we believe that we have to do it all for everybody else, that's not spiritual responsibility. That's going to an extreme. That's actually victimizing yourself. And Spirit really wants you, especially you, Scorpios, to stop doing this. So many people look at you and think, well, you're a Scorpio. You're going to sting. You're really harsh. Of course, you tell it how it is. You're a Scorpio. That's what you do. But they don't understand that you'll hurt yourself far more than you will hurt anybody else. That's your natural essence. You will naturally sting yourself first because of the way that you love it. And that doesn't need to happen anymore. That doesn't need to happen anymore. You can open your heart and you can see the worth and the value that you have in this world. And you have the ability to break people out of this fear mentality and this victimization, but you have to break yourself out of it first. And that requires you giving yourself a break. Now, the Hermit card talks about Billy and how he was, he betrayed one sister, he betrayed Winifred and slept with Mary, and then he was killed and became a zombie and, followed the direction of Winifred. But he did eventually make his own decision to break away from that, to see that he was following someone who just wasn't a good person. He was following a path and something that went against his core being. And it was too much on him. It was too much weight on him. For centuries, it was too much weight for him to bear. And so he walked away from it. And that's literally what this Hermit card talks about, is about you walking away the way that Billy walked away, going about your business and really choosing to be yourself instead, choosing to take the steps that you need to take to shed the weight and the burdens of taking care of everybody else, and realizing that you get to shape your own future here. This moon phase is going to really help you shape your future, but it requires you to take a step back and to rest. And that's going to be a big, big factor for you. That rest factor is where you surrender the loss mentality, the lack mentality, the fear, the victimization, this closing of your heart and fear and blame and shame and guilt. All of those things are ready to be shed from you, Scorpios. And I can feel it. It's like your heart has been peeling away layers and layers and layers of trauma, and now it's ready to be opened up. So this is going to be a very, very potent, very powerful new moon for you. And I, for one, am really excited to see all of the phoenixes that rise in the Scorpionic energy from this. All right, I'm going to pause it, clear it out, and then we're going to shift into the first quarter moon in Capricorn. All right, Scorpios, so we are back. We are now focusing on October 2nd and the first quarter moon in Capricorn, which is falling in your third house. Now, this also happens to occur on the day in which Mercury is going to be stationing to go direct. So Mercury energy is, again, very, very strong. Collectively, this first quarter moon is it's opening us up to initiating a new emotional response through finding the triggers that we have. And that's why I really encouraged you in the intro to really get into each and every one of these piles, because with this energy, it's very easy to be like, I don't want to focus on relationships. And now my right ear is ringing, or my left ear is ringing like super, super high pitched, which to me is always about guides and angels coming in. So your guides really want you to understand that sometimes the hesitancy that you have towards relationship issues, or talking about relationships, or really even talking about love in general, has everything to do with the way in which you communicate with love, with the essence of love. And this moon is helping you realize where those triggers exist through interactions in the outside world. So the moon is where you're going to be looking to those triggers. So this is all about communication. This is about your childhood, your siblings, your cousins, on a physical sense. But more than that, this is about how you learned how to communicate in the realm of love. And I will always be that person that says that communication is the key to any solid relationship. You have to have open and honest communication. I've had many, many failed relationships, and I have one very successful marriage now. And that is because of open and honest communication in my marriage. So during this moon phase, the moon is actually squaring off with the Sun, Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, and Neptune. At the same time, it is making a trioctile with Uranus and an octile with Saturn. So this is, again, a huge, huge level of personal accountability. This moon is asking us to take personal accountability. But this time, It's in a deeper inner awareness. And again, we're asked to surrender. Surrender those moments that came before where we felt triggered, where we felt as though we were getting hit left, right, and center, and we didn't know which way was up. So we were just going to hit back at whatever came at us so that we felt safe. That is an emotional trigger that's coming from something internal that you're now being asked to realize that when you react that way, there is a cause and effect relationship to it. Now, here's the best part. And I say this with all the piles, and I'm going to continue saying this until I'm blue in the face. Black Moon Lilith is like the divine, dark, feminine shadow aspect of the moon. She is out of bounds and at the anaretic, or the 29th degree of Cancer, which means she is working magic in the collective. She is working divine, feminine, dark, feminine magic within the collective to literally release us from our ancestral and generational patterns that make us feel subjugated. So if you are a Scorpio and you feel like you have to sting yourself in order to be protected because everywhere that you go, you have no safety net, that pattern is ready to die. That pattern is ready to be released. And Black Moon Lilith is literally bringing that into a closing phase for you. And that's happening in your 9th house. So it's really going to help open you up to a whole new expanded perspective. Now, there was also a lot of like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory energy. And that was, I kept getting golden ticket and seeing like the ups and the downs of them being like eating candy and then floating up and all of that. I was seeing all of that. And then I got to this moon phase and I was looking at the charts and I was looking at the notes and I saw that Mercury in Virgo is trining Uranus and Pluto. Now, Uranus and Pluto are not trining each other, but Mercury is pulling those energies in. So even though it's coming into a square with the moon, Mercury is pulling in Uranus and Pluto. So this is really helping us all. It's the golden ticket energy to getting out of the tension in this moon, is understanding this new communicative style. And this is a transformative, innovative, creative kind of communication, but it's coming from the divine, and the divine is communicating with us in a very rooted manner. So you may actually find yourself having somebody walk up to you and be like, I have a message for you. Or you may walk outside. Today I was out walking with Willow and it's 33:22 on my clock. So you guys have a lot of angel numbers, by the way. I was out walking Willow to take my kids to school and then, have like a morning walk with her and everything. And I was walking by a tree and all of a sudden there was a crow and it was cawing. And I looked up and I couldn't find the crow. I couldn't find it anywhere. And so I was like, okay, well, good morning to you too. And then I kept walking and I took like 2 steps and it started cawing again. And then I heard another one across the way cawing, and they just called to each other until I acknowledged that they were there. I acknowledged their presence. Now, crows are very insightful animals. They are very intuitive animals, very intuitive birds, and they're associated with energy very similar to this moon energy. The divine was communicating with me in the morning as I was out walking. And directly after that, I passed by a willow tree as I'm walking my dog Willow, and there were felled branches, and I brought them home because I felt as though it was important for me to bring them home. So these are things that the divine is helping me explain to you how this new rooted communication is going to work. There are ways in which the world is speaking to each and every one of us, and these ways are increasing ever more as the days go on. And through this moon phase, if we can attune ourselves to this new communication, we can actually break ourselves out using Black Moon Lilith's magic. We can break ourselves out of any of these mental subjugational patterns that we can't communicate the needs and the wants and the heart-centered anything that we hold within in the world, within ourselves, within our connections, within our love and romance areas. This is more widespread than just love, but it's a very strong proponent here. All right. I had to take a drink of tea. Let's take a look at your oracle cards. So we have the card 3 and nurturing. Yeah, this is your third house, and this is the Earth Star chakra. So like I said, it's a very rooted energy. It's a very grounding energy. And the root or the Earth Star chakra, I always associate with Saturn energy personally. And that's because Saturn really wants us to connect here in the world, to see what we have in the physical world and to really nurture our connection to it. This card here to me is talking more about how you view nurturing and nurturing communication based off of when you were a child. Then we've got the card 35 with Angels of the 7 Chakras. Okay. The first quarter moon in Cancer, push through any insecurity. That's really funny because we have the third quarter moon in Cancer coming up. All right. Just going to shift those over. Then we have the card 14, friendship, support, fun, unity, and play. Okay, I understand. Okay, and then we have the one who creates, Shayla. Creativity, originality, and spontaneity. And I'm going to pull your 3 tarot cards too. We have the card 9 with well-deserved reward. The card 2 with spread your wings. And the card 5 with teach. Okay. First of all, are you guys thinking about getting a Pomeranian or a Chihuahua dog? If you are, Spirits wants me to let you know that that's going to be happening for you. It will happen how it's meant to happen. You don't have to overanalyze it. Also, Violet Sugar something? What is that? Violet Sugar Pops? Is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing. Let me know in the comment section below, but I just picked that up. These are all just pieces of confirmation for you that I'm just picking up from the cards. Also, drumming, chanting, painting. Are some of you guys thinking about going to Arizona? Are some of you guys thinking about going to Australia or to... It's almost like you want to go. You want to go. You want to go. You want to go. Yeah, I can feel that with you guys. There's something here that you want to go. And that may be why you didn't want to talk about love and romance. So let's actually jive here. Let's talk. This push through any insecurity, the truth and connection with the 7 chakras. Are you in a committed relationship with someone who is not, spiritually speaking, would not be considered an awakened soul? That may be something that makes you feel very insecure about sharing your gifts. It may make you feel as though you can't actually create the way that you want to create or spread your wings or have fun because you don't have the same kind of support. But okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just letting the downloads come in. So Spirit wants me to talk about my marriage, which is always fun. Okay. So like I said, I have a very successful marriage that's based off of open and honest communication. That does not mean that we don't have our own issues. That it doesn't mean that we don't struggle. My husband is not spiritually awakened, but he doesn't doubt my gifts. He doesn't second guess it. And we had a conversation yesterday where he was talking about something with his job, and his job is a very grounded, very rooted job. He works in the oil field. And it was one of those moments where he was talking and I understand his stance, but I told him, I said, I've been getting messages about the possibility of you getting fired. Like, do you want to, like, it didn't make sense to me. The messages I was getting didn't make sense to me until this moment, predicating factor came in. And I could have been like, okay, well, it's his job and it's his choice. Or I could spread my wings and trust, push through any insecurities and say, hey, here's what I need you to be aware of. And in that, I get very, very scorpionic when I talk about these things, because I get very defensive and very protective of my family and the people that I love. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is because there's some sort of resonant energy with your pile about being afraid to share the depths of your gifts and the quality of your own creativity, because the person that you're with or the person that you're interested in is not the same as you. But it's about changing your perspective, because what's the most important thing in any relationship, even if it's not a romantic relationship, but any relationship at all? The most important thing is love. And I know that you guys said it. I know you did, because I literally heard like the word love resounding in my head. So thank you. But that is more important than anything else. It's more important than the numbers you see on the cards, the colors, the words. It's more important than this message. It's more important than anything in the world. Love is the most important thing. That means that if there is love, that is what matters. And when there is love, that's how you open yourself up to talking more. And this is something that I feel very strongly for you, Scorpios, is something you're being called to, is learning how to take that initiative to really speak more lovingly towards yourself, towards your path here in the world, towards your friends, but about your ability to have unity, to have support, to have friends, to get yourself beyond this. Because the more that you do this, the more you're going to be stepping into this role of teaching others how to understand that we all are meant for love, nothing more and nothing less. That is the essence of what our souls are here to find, is love. Love in the physical world, love in the material world, love in the spiritual world, love with another person, love within ourselves, love for a passion and a project and a hobby and a path. But love is always, always everything. And Scorpios, you understand this more than others, more than most. So this is really, the messages coming through are really asking you to focus on learning how to communicate that love a lot deeper, because it's time for you to start teaching others how to have this love, how to harness this love, and how to utilize this love in their own life. Okay. We're going to shift to the full moon in Aries. I'm going to pause it and do the transition over, and then I will see you there. All right, my lovely Scorpios. So we are back. This is October 9th in the full moon in Aries. This is your 6th house. This is career focused, but it's also about your work and how you take care of yourself and how you find that balance between the two. Some of you may be ready for a new change in your career, like genuinely ready for a new change in your career. I know before I talked about a new path and a new avenue. If you're not in that group, use your discernment here. But with this doorways card and what this energy and this full moon is helping to release, now is the time that if you do genuinely want to make a change in your career, make a change in your career, because the right actions taken right now, the actions that are led by your intuition, by spirit, by your guidance, will lead to the right results, no matter what. It's just in the energy. There is this essence of creative innovation right now. And that's creative innovation in self-expression. That's going to bring more harmony into your life. And because we have the moon conjuncting Chiron, we have this soul level, emotional, deep healing of yourself and your soul here in the world. So I'm going to pause it and let my dogs out real quick. Okay, I'm back. I apologize for that. My Eliza's dog Jade went a little crazy, tore up a pillow again, which is a normal thing because she's a pup. But Willow came out and was like, Mom, I'm done napping. It's time for me to go outside and play zoomies in the yard. So she likes to run around. I call it zoomies. Anyway, we were talking about this full moon in Aries. So as we're going through this soul level, emotional, deep healing of yourself and your spirit here in the world, there are a number of different things that you can do in order to heal. So the first thing that I got was shamanic fire meditations. These you can find on you can find these on YouTube. You know, Scorpios, no offense, guys, but there's a truth that you guys need to speak. And I have been fighting that feeling this entire reading. And now as I say that, my throat chakra is starting to open way more. But whatever truth it is that you're holding on to, that you are ready to speak out, it's time for you to speak it out. And I do mean not during this moon phase. I mean like right now in your life. Like you need to speak it out. Like as you're sitting here, there's something that you need to say. It doesn't necessarily have to be said to somebody else in your life, but it needs to be said. Because the more that I tell you this, the more I can feel my own throat chakra opening. And I thought that it was just because, you know, the weather is kind of chilly here and I've been on the tail end of clearing out my third eye, which always kind of clears out my sinuses. So I thought that that's what it was. But no, as soon as I said, you have something that you need to speak out, my throat chakra blew wide open. So that's just a side note. These messages really have been so completely different. I love it. Anyway, we talked about shamanic fire meditations. There are fire meditations in order to help you let go of things. In this sense, there's something here that you need to let go of surrounding your work life and the way that you love yourself and the work that you do. That you can also do violet flame purifications and call on Archangel Zadkiel. And he actually, and I was shuffling the cards, his card actually came out while I was shuffling the cards. His energy has been very, very strong with these messages, which always makes me feel really great because he's my Reiki archangel guide, like my primary Reiki guide. And I found that out through a meditation when I was doing my first round of attunements and training in becoming a Usui Reiki master. But Archangel Zadkiel that was weird. My camera just there was something that just triggered my camera. Interesting. Archangel Zadkiel is the archangel of kindness, forgiveness, self-forgiveness, mercy, grace, blessings. He is here to help you purify the parts of you that believe that you're not worthy of that, the parts of you that struggle with taking care of yourself because of those things. And now this is where I love this moon energy, because I started this whole reading off telling you guys that you guys are the essence of the phoenix. You are the phoenix. That's actually your third level of energy. Scorpio goes from the scorpion to the eagle to the phoenix. That is how the progression of your soul journey as a Scorpio goes. And we all have the ability to tap into that energy in whatever house it falls within our charts. And that's such a beautiful gift that we get from you, Scorpios. This Phoenix rising energy is incredibly potent and powerful during this new moon in Aries, or full moon in Aries. So it is time to rise from the ashes. It is time to see that you have grown your plumage and you can take off and take flight. All of this is focusing on that transformational power of harmonic balance within your heart center and how to speak from your heart center. Now, that's something that you were already taking the initiative of on October 2nd, is new heart center communication. So the biggest message here is this moon phase is opening you up, opening all of us collectively up to healing the soul through opening to the beauty of unconditional love. So let's find out how it's going to impact your work life. We have the card 15 with hands, the card 12 with elementals, nature spirits, and the 4 elements. full moon in Aquarius, be real. I'm gonna put that over here. 33, building your world, creation, expansion, and networking. Oh boy, Scorpios. Oh, I love how she's sitting in this tree. And then, oh my gosh, again, Archangel Zadkiel is coming through. The one who forgives, elixir, remorse, guilt, and forgiveness. Now I'm going to tell you guys the same thing I told Cancer risings. If you are struggling to forgive yourself or someone else for something that has happened in your past, my email address is available. I believe it's in the description box. If it's not in the description box, it is in the about section. My email address is available. Email me if you are struggling with this forgiveness concept. I do have a program that I am not charging people for. I'm just sending it out in PDF form and you just do it on your own. And it's called Freedom Through Forgiveness. And so if you want to walk through a new doorway of forgiveness, I would be more than happy to send you the PDF of the program. So this is telling me a lot about your work. And it's telling me a lot about your work before I even look at the tarot cards. This is telling me that you are definitely someone who is very attuned to the real world. You're attuned to, and I don't like saying real world, but in your case, it needs to be said this way. You are attuned to Mother Nature. You are attuned to the elements. You can actually, I'm actually seeing somebody channeling the essence of water through their hands. I've never heard of that. It sounds kind of like Reiki to me. It looks kind of like Reiki to me, but okay, there's a book series called The Vampire Academy. I don't know if any of you have ever read it or heard of it. If you haven't, check it out. It's phenomenal. But within that, they talk about how vampires, they work with the elements. And so they specialize in a specific element. And there are very few who specialize in spirit because they don't understand that it's an element and you can work with it. And that book really talks about someone using that fifth element, like using that spirit element, but it talks about being able to actually manipulate the elements using your hands or your minds. Or it. The point of this is that's what I'm seeing for you guys. There's something within your work where you're learning how to actually utilize all the elements in a much more grounded and down to earth way. And it's almost like you've been holding yourself back from doing this. Like, this can't possibly be real, can it? Yeah, it can. It is. It is real. All right, let's look at your cards. So we have the 7 of Bones or the 7 of Wands, the 3 of Bones or the 3 of Wands. Wow. And we've got, wow, Lilith on here. Okay. And then we've got the 10 of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So what we're looking at here is we're looking at this long drawn out battle to find your future, to find your path, to find your area of prosperity, your happy ever after. You've been really working at finding your happy ever after. Is 343 significant to any of you? That may be something that is significant to you. That's actually kind of funny because it was like 10 subscribers off from when I started filming this morning. But we've got 33 here, 12, which reduces to a 3, 3 here, and then 343. So 3s are really strong with you guys. 3s are the essence of bringing all things together, but 33 is that master, ascended master energy. It is creation from the highest realm possible. And we do have creation here. So you're literally stepping through the flames, becoming the phoenix, learning how to move from the heart because you're bringing in like the life that you want. And it feels like you've had to bleed yourself dry to do this. You've had to battle every battle imaginable to do this. But nothing has been done in vain. And so it's made you get really honest with yourself about what you have the capability of creating and what you have the capability of doing. And all of that comes directly after you learn how to forgive yourself to release these things. And these are all things that we talked about with the new moon. Guilt, shame, blame, resentment, hostilities, sadness, victim, lack, loss. I'm not saying they're easy things to let go of. I'm not saying they're easy things to forgive yourself for feeling. I am saying that you are doing it. You're already doing it. And I know that this is a future progressed look, but you have been doing it for a very long time, Scorpios. And now is the time where you're actually starting to step into the benefits and the blessings from it. So get really real with yourself. Be as authentic as you can be. Use whatever magic you have at your disposal. Some of you may genuinely want to work magic. Do that. Trust yourself. This moon phase is really here to change your life. And especially change your work life because, I mean, you've got the 10 of Pentacles. Like, that's huge. All right. That's literally all the message I'm getting for this one. So let's go ahead and shift into the third quarter moon in Cancer and your spirituality focus. Okay, Scorpios, we are back. We have now shifted to October 17th and the third quarter moon in Cancer, and this is your 9th house. Now, like I had mentioned before, this is about your spirituality. This is about expansion of your philosophies, your beliefs, what you see of yourself, but also what you see of the world. This third quarter moon in Cancer collectively is actually harmonizing the soul with an inner expansion. And that's going to be found through self-compassion, through opening to your psychic gifts. It's the moon harmonizing with Jupiter and Neptune. There is an ease here that is coming forth for us of accepting our own uniqueness, accepting our own gifts, our own general stylings. And that acceptance, once you step into that state, it really is going to break the tension of any kind of imbalanced focus that we have been holding on the area of loving something or someone or some belief or some perspective that just is not centered in our hearts. It's about learning the emotional undercurrents, which really create illusions of the self versus union in harmony, in balance, in love, based upon all of the lies that we've been told for generations, based off of these structures, these subjugational structures that have been holding the divine feminine back from truly unifying with the divine masculine. This third quarter moon in Cancer is such a profound, powerful, world-changing energy. And I am telling you guys, as I was saying that, the sun literally broke through the clouds outside my window. That's why it just brightened up in here, because I have my windows open. And that's literally what happened. Like, that is such huge spirit confirmation. Holy cow. But this is about communication from spirit, receiving communication from spirit, just like that moment just now. Intuition and psychic insights, things that you can feel. So for you in particular, you're going to feel it in your crown chakra and your third eye chakra. For the most part, I was getting heart and higher heart chakras for the collective. But as I was preparing for this pile, for this specific moon phase with you guys, I literally could feel it in my crown. My crown felt so pressurized, but not in a painful way. And now my ears are ringing super high. So this moon phase is really going to open so much more up for you, so much more perspective up for you. And the huge, key factor that this is all for healing the divine masculine in such a huge way through breaking your inner divine feminine free. And the way that you do that is through fueling your creative, inspirational solutions of communicative action through using Mars and Gemini. And that's such a strange thing for me, because Mars and Gemini has been made me feel really kind of leery and inky until Mars hit Gemini. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, buckle your seatbelts. This is going to be amazing. And I could just feel it like thrumming through my entire body. Mars in Gemini is giving the collective the right words, the right inspiration, the essence of soul deep, heart-centered, pure motivation to elevate our spiritual awareness. But not just our spiritual awareness, our awareness of what we can do and create in the world. And this moon phase is really, really fueling that into all of us, because Mars is right about to go retrograde or renegade, as my husband calls it. And now my books are called Renegade Planets. But that's what we're working with here. Mars is going to help push us into the right ideas, the right notions, the right motivations, so that we can change the way that this works. We can change the way that divine masculine energy is. We can break our divine feminine free and really harness the essence of her energy. Holy cow, you guys, this is a message that didn't come through for any other pile, for any other sign. This is just a message that your energy is helping bring forth. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. I feel like a kid in a candy store, and I have like a limitless card. Like, go buy whatever you want. Have I said that on this channel before? I'm feeling some deja vu. So let's take a look at your oracle cards and then your tarot cards for where this is really, really being healed, this spirituality focus for the 9th house. So we have tea leaves and foresight. There is a lot of psychic energy coming with you guys. Now, again, I told you guys you're going to feel this in your crown and your third eye chakra, so that does not shock me. 33, again, phase entanglement and emotional influence. I get. Oh my gosh. You guys are going to be able to see when other people are, it's like you're going to be able to see and know when other people are talking smack, throwing shade, I think is how it's called. I'm old. It's whatever. You're going to be able to see it ahead of time and energetically block it prior to it coming in to keep yourself from getting entangled into anything that you're not meant to be entangled into. Holy cow. Last quarter moon in Scorpio, this is your energy. Reveal what needs to be seen. You're literally going to be able to see shade being thrown, and you're going to be able to stop. This is like a whole new gift opening up within you guys. Yeah, 5, clarity, planning, releasing illusion. Look at that eagle on her head. It's like the eagle comes in and like shows her. And then Eterna, the one who becomes, metamorphosis, transcend, and journey. Cancer being in your 9th house is really, really, really opening up your psychic gifts. Then we've got the card 12 of fire, or the Knight of Fire, and the Hero. 12 again with love. And 12 again with the Counselor. All of those reduced to a 3, you guys. I'm done. This all started with your 12th house. It all started with your 12th house. Everything is multiples of 3. 12 is 3 and 4, or 4 threes. And we had 343. There's so many synchronicities here. My brain is actually exploding. Like, the thing that's changing is the level of clarity that you have on your gifts, the level of everything, love, being there for other people, fire and water, balancing these two together. There is actually a card in this deck, and I don't know if I would be able to find it. I don't know. I really want to find it to show you guys, because I'm seeing it in my third eye. So give me just a moment. We're going to do this, you guys. And if you see something on here that you're like, oh my gosh, that looks so exactly right. Take it as whatever confirmation, but maybe it isn't in this deck. Nope, there we go. Right there. And it's another 5, and this is a 5, but it's about truth. And look at what truth is. Look how you balance truth. You balance truth with fire and water. This is something that I can't, oh my gosh, you guys, I don't even have words right now. This third quarter moon, I don't even know. Like, I felt this energy, this like profound energy, but the level of synchronicities here, I don't have words. There is something here that is going to awaken within you. And I've been saying this a lot in a lot of piles, but with you guys, it's like you're awakening some essence of spiritual awareness, of balance, of a higher truth, a higher purpose, a higher knowing. And you're doing it through being able to see when an entanglement is going to be coming in. And as soon as you see an entanglement that's going to be coming in, you're going to be able to stop it. And from that, you're literally going to transform. You're going to transform. And that's why we got this doorways energy so strongly with you guys, is because you're going to transform in a way that literally transforms the world. And this is something that I've been picking up a lot. We are in a phase, we are in a time in which nothing makes sense because everything is possible. And that is the most beautiful thing, because now you can do whatever and be whatever and choose whatever, and it will work. It always will, because it's what's right. And when you allow yourself to really harness this, you guys are literally harmonizing the sun and the moon here. Like, you're harmonizing water and earth and fire. You're bringing everything together, and you're doing it because you know that love is the most predominant force. Come here, baby. Come here. Uppies? Willow is like, Mom, I want loves. Okay, she wants to go outside. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that, Scorpios. Essentially, you guys are balancing everything together. Look at this. The truth. Do you guys remember what we talked about in the first quarter moon in Capricorn? If you don't, please go back and watch that section. But we talked about the most powerful, pervasive force. The only truth that there is, the only thing that really matters in this world is love. These cards literally confirm it. And I am telling you guys, I didn't look at these ahead of time. I had no idea these were going to come out. And that would be why I freaked out the way that I freaked out. Because you guys are being you're being shown the way. You are the harbingers of clarity. And that means that you're going to see every doorway that's possible and every avenue that's possible. And you're going to walk through the right one. And it's not about right or wrong. And you actually know that. It's about breaking free of any karmic entanglements, breaking free of any phases, anything that has ever been holding you back, and realizing that you get to do this now. Now it's the time. Wow. Okay, I'm going to set this here. Look, crystal ball clarity. We have it again. Spirit is, wow, speaking. Wow. Okay. I'm going to clear these off real quick. This is what I've been doing for all the piles. We're going to get just some closing messages here. We're going to keep this doorways energy here because that has been the predominant one. And this is my own version of a mega deck. And so I do want to give a shout out here to ASO Tarot for the inspiration for this deck, because I do recall a video of hers where she had made her mega deck in like the middle of the night. And that is how this one came into being as well, but it was definitely her inspiration. So ASO, thank you. You're amazing and I appreciate it. All right. So Spirit, can we get some closing messages for Scorpio for them to move forward into Mabon? Whew, these are, all right. Spirit, closing messages for Scorpio. Okay. That one wanted to come out. On the back, we have Juggler. This again, it comes back to that 10 of Wands that we had right away in the beginning of Mabon. That 10 of Wands energy that was like, you're carrying too much. Shooting star confirmation, holistic health, play, and clouds. Number 1, go cloud watching. Because when you go cloud watching, you're going to feel as though it's going to be kind of like you and spirit are just kind of sitting out on your back porch on a swing, and the clouds are you and, okay, that makes more sense. Okay, so I'm going to finish the analogy and then I'm going to explain where it came from. It's kind of like spirit is creating the clouds in order to talk to you. So have you guys ever seen Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings, where Bilbo and Gandalf are sitting outside on, I think, a hill or something like that, and they're blowing smoke rings, and then Gandalf like makes a smoke bolt and stuff. It's kind of like that, where you're showing spirit, hey, look what I can do. And you're actually forming the clouds a little bit. And you're realizing that this is a gift that you have. And that's just something that's new. And spirit's like, okay, let me show you what you could be doing with this. And does it. So there's something there about this energy here. Basically what that is that's, it could be literal. It could be. I'm not ruling that out. I have seen people literally like bend the rules of physics, and my daughter is very telekinetic, so I do get that. But in this case specifically, it almost feels like spirit saying, how can you take this and apply it to holistic health? How can you take it and apply it to all the things that you feel like you have to juggle and have up in the air, and let all of that drop so that you can have more fun? So you can play and frolic like you did as a kid when you used to stare at the clouds or go watch for shooting stars. Right now, go have some fun. Drop the weight, drop the ones, drop that weight here. Go have some fun and go play. And this actually is bringing me back to the counselor card that we just had, because it's 2 dolphins, but this had 2 whales on it as well. So it's telling me that it's time for you to get really resonant with water, to really tap into your own essence, your own energy, because it's going to be deeply healing. And when you do that, you're going to find more confirmations all around you. This whole reading feels like there's been confirmations for you for all sorts of different things in your life. If that's true, please let me know, because I would love to. But that's what spirit is showing me. And so this is literally like everything has been written in the stars, written in the clouds. Oh, that is dust. That, I promise, is dust. Because I actually saw that. But everything has been written in the clouds, written in the stars. Now is the time for you to understand that if you let go of certain things, your physical body is going to change. Your physical body is going to heal. There's something here where you need to heal something, and this holistic health, I want you to put a W in front of it, because that's actually how I think of it. Holistic health in the sense of the whole person. And the whole person is healed through not just the physical world, but through the spiritual world, through the elemental kingdom, through magic, through grounding, through everything. There's this essence of learning how to heal all of yourself. And a lot of that has to do with you letting go and having fun. There's a doorway opening for you to have more fun. Take it. All right, Scorpios, this is all I'm seeing. This is all I'm getting for you guys. I truly hope that these messages resonated. I want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for everything that you do for yourselves and for others. Thank you for always being the protectors of everybody and always knowing how to be the leading example of the fighter, and now knowing how to put that down and to heal. You guys are amazing inspirations for all of us, and we are ever so grateful. Thank you so much to Spirit and your guides and my guides for these messages, for this energy, for this awareness, for all of this. Thank you so much. If this resonated, please hit that like button. Go ahead and share this out with any of your fellow Scorpios that you know. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I am returning to pick a cards next week after we get done with the rising sign messages for Libra season. So thank you guys again. Let me know down in the comment section below what the biggest confirmation was for this pile. I would love to know, or for this reading, I would love to know. And once again, Scorpio, thank you so much for being here. I love you all. Bye.